Got some new fan art here for you guys. This art really deserves credit. I love it. Also, I wanted to mention that I've started a second channel, Telltale Science. I talk about science-related subjects, computers, biology, astrophysics, whatever. This won't affect my usual upload schedule on this channel. It's just something I've wanted to do for a while, so check it out. You'll find a link to it in the description. So I was looking through the JW Broadcasting episode for March, and I came across this bit about ratting friends out to the elders. That hits home with me because it happened to me. So let's see how the Watchtower Society feels about it. Let's get into it.
I had a secret. Only, it wasn't mine to tell. It was my best friend's, Julian.
It is so bizarre to watch things like this now. To see the inside of a Kingdom Hall again. To remember carrying microphones down the aisle and feel so special because I was allowed to as a man, but women weren't. To be spiritually strong enough to be given the privilege of carrying the microphones. It's just an interesting culture they've set up. Anyways, moving on.
This was not the Julian I knew. At the end of the meeting, Brother Max wanted to know if I was okay. I shrugged it off. I just didn't know who to talk to at that point.
I just want to point out the incredible cinematography here. They are so skilled at filmmaking and propaganda. Seriously, wasted talent. Okay, so this kid found out that his best friend went to a worldly party with worldly people and worldly alcohol, and he's debating whether or not to tell the elders, thus ruining his friendship, but getting in good with Jehovah. Let's continue.
A few years ago, when my parents stopped attending meetings, Julian was there for me.
Oh, here we go. My first clue something was up was the fact that he was riding on a city bus. So what is the Watchtower Society trying to communicate here? What are they trying to get across? They're saying that if our parents or other family members stop going to meetings, it's no excuse. You have to find your way to the Kingdom Hall at any cost, even if it means taking the city bus. Imagine how much the family hates the Kingdom Hall if they're willing to let some, 14-year-old take the city bus at night, dressed in a suit, rather than drive them themselves. The Watchtower Society doesn't care. They want you there no matter what you have to do. Theocratic warfare. Lie, cheat, steal, fight, anything. Get to the meetings at any cost. Okay, hold on. I just want to make note of something interesting here. Check this out. This is a picture of the kid hanging out with his friend and presumably his friend's mom. They're just hanging out eating lunch or something. You can tell they aren't doing witness-related activities because they don't have any books or anything. But in this shot, they're including him in the family worship thing. Notice what she's wearing. A head covering. That's because Jehovah's Witnesses believe that if there's a baptized male in the house, she should be showing her respect for his authority by wearing a head covering. This isn't talked about much, but after I got baptized, my mom had to wear a head covering if I was in the room when she prayed, because I should be the one leading the prayer, not her. Thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, moving on.
I didn't want to lose my friend. But did I really know him? I decided to ask Julian about the pictures he posted. I told him it wasn't right. He needed to talk to the elders. Then he got really defensive about it. I knew I did the right thing.
When was I supposed to take care of this bill?
I just needed someone to talk to.
When did you tell me? I've been working the past couple weeks
Well,
to try
as
to
if
pay
I
for
don't
that
work.
bill.
Oh, now you're gonna blame everything on me.
So now we get a glimpse of his home life and see that his parents are constantly arguing with each other. The one shot we get of them is a fight, i.e. if they aren't going to meetings, it couldn't possibly be because they think it's incorrect. It must be because they're too money hungry or something. This is how we were taught to view people who stopped coming to meetings. We were taught to view them as sick, empty people who lost everything and have nothing going for them, which is why my success in life is so much more vindicating. They want me to fail. I refuse to. I will not fail because it means they got what they wanted. Let's continue.
Brother Max wanted to know how I was really doing. He could tell something was wrong. So, I opened up. I told him everything. I didn't want to get my friend in trouble. Max understood. He asked me to read James 5, verses 14 and 15.
First, notice they're pushing the digital stuff. They've been doing this for a while, but I haven't really pointed it out before. Everything in this video is planned. It's in here for a very specific reason. They're at a Kingdom Hall. They have Bibles around. It looks like they're right next to the literature counter. He couldn't have grabbed a Bible? At my old hall, they always had Bibles there sitting in the back. No, he pulled out his phone instead. They're embracing technology, which is a smart move, because it's coming whether they like it or not. But then they've always embraced technology, haven't they? That's been their draw since the very beginning. But their real reason for pushing it like this is because they're running out of money to pay for paper. I really believe they're trying to get people to move over to digital because it's a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. Anyways, that was just a quick aside. Let's continue.
Is there anyone sick among you? Let him call the elders of the congregation to him, and let them pray over him, applying oil to him in the name of Jehovah. And the prayer of faith will make the sick one well, and Jehovah will raise him up.
Okay, so this dude gave this kid a Bible verse, which they're twisting to mean you should rat your friends out. Basically, the Bible verse says, bring a sick person to the elders of the congregation, and they'll pour oil on him and pray over him. And the prayer will make the sick one well. Basically. I'm not really sure that verse was about people who stopped believing all the bullshit the elders are spreading. That verse is very different from how they're making it out to be. But that's the nature of propaganda, isn't it?
Max showed me that the elders can encourage and strengthen a spiritually weak person. Covering up a friend's wrongdoing prevents him from getting the spiritual help he needs. All this time, I was focused on Julian and his deception, and I didn't speak up. I'm glad I was honest with Brother Max. The elders are like our spiritual doctors, and even more, they're our friends. They want to help us.
And now they're justifying his decision to rat his friend out. And isn't that interesting? They said, all this time I was focused on Julian and his deception, and I didn't speak up. They're implying that he was the deceptive one. If you don't rat your friends out, you're just as bad as they are. You must tell on your friends, or you'll be blood guilty when they die in Armageddon. And that's actually what they say. FYI, for those of you who aren't Jehovah's Witness and never were, blood guilt is when you kill somebody, intentionally or not. If somebody dies and it's your fault, you're blood guilty. That includes getting in a car accident or whatever. The law might not prosecute you if it was legitimately an accident, but the Watchtower Society will. Like if you were texting while driving, or you had any alcohol in your system at all, even under the legal limit. You're still blood guilty. So the point here is, they're telling you that if you don't tell on your friends, you're just as guilty as they are.
Julian might receive discipline, but that's an expression of Jehovah's love. It could save his spiritual life.
An expression of Jehovah's love. Save his spiritual life. And take a look at this outside shot. Notice they have 2 elders in the room with him. That's because of the 2-witness rule. They're supposed to have 2 people present to attest to what he says, just in case he admits to doing something that could be a disfellowshipping offense. Like when he was at the party, if he admitted to fucking some chick, or some dude, or whatever. They want to have 2 elders there to witness the confession, so that if it needs to become a judicial matter, they'll have evidence against him. But since this is almost over, I'm assuming it doesn't turn into a judicial matter.
Julian got the spiritual help he needed. And I kept my best friend.
See, it all turned out for the best in the end. He kept his best friend, and his friend was intimidated into following the rules again. All is well. Isn't it fascinating how they set everything up though? How they're sending subtle messages with every scene in this video. Like the head covering bit, or the 2 elders instead of 1 or 3, or the arguing parents, or the phone instead of the paper Bible. That is the nature of propaganda. Everything is very specifically placed in the scene for a reason. And that's all this is. Propaganda. Anyways, that's all I've got for you. Follow me on Discord, Twitter, Patreon, and Facebook. And check out my new channel, Telltale Science. Links in the description. Thanks for watching, guys.